I just came up with some sauce. I feel like you're gonna want to hear it. So, burning through desires. I think that's something we should all get comfortable with. We should all begin to accept. It's a concept that we gotta internalize and really like work towards, because something I've noticed, right, with my stay here in like the city so far is, like the experiences that life has given me so far. And even before, especially before I came here, but like just overall, a piece of wisdom that I have acquired from the ethers is basically we got to burn through desires, man. Like I have experienced through myself and through just interacting and talking to so many people now. We like we often it comes to do with standards. Like we have standards for ourselves when it comes to relationships, friendships, social circles, careers, life goals, like everything. We have certain standards. We have certain ideals that we know would be the ideal outcome for us. Like this is the best reality that I could occupy. We know what that is, even if it's not crystal clear. We have an inkling or like a string that we can follow that eventually will lead us to what that is, right? But yet every single time, or for the most part, we settle for way less, and we do this consciously. And every time we settle for way less, we end up feeling bad. The clearest, easiest example is relationships. Let's talk about that, because everyone does that shit. So it's like with relationships, a lot of people understand exactly what it is they want, right? And I'll even use myself as an example. I understand a lot of what it is I want. And a huge chunk of that is because of the isolation I underwent when I was living like in my hometown recently, just solo, not that many friends and stuff, grinding on my thing. Whoa, pause, that sounds so crazy, man. Grinding on my YouTube. But like through that isolation, I ended up understanding a lot of who I am because I wasn't really confused or distracted by the ideas and desires of other people. This is pretty cool, but with that comes deeper knowledge of yourself, self-inquiry, let's say. You understand yourself a lot more, and with that comes deeper understanding of what you want. And then that makes it so that your standards become so specific, not necessarily high. High, if you got high standards, that's totally fine. But by the way, cool chain, right? I know. All right, cool. Chill out. But like your standards get super specific when it comes to relationships, to lovers, to life choices, to just everything about your existence. It becomes very specific. Yet again and again, we choose people or things or circumstances that we know aren't exactly what we want, but it's because we have this innate feeling of low self-worth where we don't believe we're actually worthy. We don't think we can actually acquire the thing we know is the best for us, so we settle for less. In relationships, it's an even easier example because I've experienced this viscerally, and I think everyone has, where it's like, if you have the illusion of options, because they're not really options if they're not the person you know is your standard, but we can have these options. Let's say you know exactly what you want in a partner, but you're surrounded by all these people that are interested and you're kind of interested. And so they feel like options, and it's like, damn, it's so, like attractive, and let me just holler at this person, or let me just lock in with this person because it feels like that's the best thing I can get right now. And then the thing up there that's my standard is, unreachable, maybe because I don't think I deserve it. There's two ways of approaching this. Option A is lock the fuck in and don't, because we all know innately that every time you settle for, the thing over here, you're basically essentially pushing your standards further and further away from you. Again, the clearest example being relationships. The more time you spend with someone you know isn't the best option for you, but because you don't believe you can get better, so you spend time with them, the more it is you push away the person that's actually meant for you. Same comes with career choices and life and all these other things. Option A is lock the fuck in, but option B is what I mean by burning through desires. See, we suffer a lot as people, man, because we feel bad about the life choices we're making, and we feel like we're making mistakes. But we don't make mistakes. We can't make mistakes. That's not how reality works, bro. Take it from me. I'm the lucid dreaming nigga, bro. It's not how this shit works, bro. Like God, if God has a will, and obviously if you believe in God, him, its will is our existence, then why do you think anything other than its will would ever be enacted upon in this reality, right? So everything you do that you call a mistake isn't a mistake in the first place. It's God's will, and you cannot do anything outside of God's will. That sounds very abstract, but let me bring it back to earth. What I'm saying is, We need to burn through our desires, because every time you have the desire to pick at the low-hanging fruit that you know isn't your standard, but you just want to get this because you feel like it's safe, and you know maybe you might never find your standard or your person or your career of choice, so let me just take this one because it's safe. Every time you do that, it's because it's an innate reflection of who you are as a person. There's something in you, a limiting belief, an idea, a self-image thing that makes you feel like, oh yeah, I'm not worthy. And you need to burn through it, because only by picking at the low-hanging fruit, taking a bite out of it and realizing, damn, this shit is bitter as fuck. I just want the one that I wanted in the first place. This is comfortable. I can keep eating it, but damn, it's so boring. Like, only by doing that will you actually learn. And here's the other thing. We don't learn intellectually. Human beings only truly learn from experience. That's my experience, at least. All we have to go off of is experience at the end of the day. We only learn through experience. That's the only way something can live in your bones, and never again will you do it. Only by experiencing heartbreak, which was led as a result of you choosing something that wasn't of your standards, will you actually learn to never choose something that isn't of your standards ever again. Only by experiencing a depressing life because of the career you chose that maybe pays you well but you hate it, will you truly learn that I will never do this again. But before that, people would have told you, don't do that, don't date that person, they're not meant for you, don't take that career, it doesn't suit you. But you're like, shit, this shit is safe, man. I don't know if I got the sauce to get more of what I actually want. Only when you go through that and people tell you that shit and you don't listen and you do it still, will you actually learn. When people tell you that shit, it almost makes you want to do it even more. And so this is what I mean by burning through the desires. I want you, whatever situation you may be in, that you feel like this is wrong, but I really want to keep doing it, but everyone's telling me this is wrong, be it a relationship, a situationship thing, a career or whatever. If you feel like you got to do it, even though you know it's not right, do it. You're burning through the desire, and this is exactly what needs to happen for you to learn. I'll admit, not everything has to be learned, right? You don't have to experience everything to learn everything. Some things can be avoided. But the sheer fact that you feel so driven to go do it, even if it's not coming from a place of passion, but rather insecurity and fear, is good, because you need to face that fear. You need to literally live in the fear, make decisions out of that fear, for you to end up realizing it's not for you at all. Because I promise you, if it's not meant for you, you're gonna feel it real hard. You're gonna feel it to a point where you won't be able to handle it anymore, because it's just not meant for you. And so you will actually learn, and then you will ascend that way. But you need to burn through your desires. And as you're burning through your horrible desires, be at peace. Because man, when you get into this whole manifestation thing, it's all about your emotional state, and you really want a resting emotional state of peace. That's what you want to always default to. So understanding that even though you're in this fucked up situation, this fucked up relationship, this fucked up career or whatever, and you know you could do better, but you can't because you're scared, just understanding that this is okay, because this is how you truly learn for yourself and how you discover and how life unfolds. Just understanding that will keep you at peace, even in the most violent turbulence of waves. And it's okay if you're not at peace. That's the point. We're supposed to get fucked up, or else life would be boring. I'm telling you, we'd all kill ourselves if life was just joy. I think we'd all kill ourselves, bro. So it's like, that's the whole point, man. That's the whole point. Let's burn through our desires, because that's the only way we can learn what to do and what not to do. That's all. Peace.